All right. Hello. Well, if you are here, you have heard the news that I am pregnant. This video was filmed in the past of me announcing it. Technically, I haven't announced it yet. It's Tuesday and we're announcing it on Sunday, so I haven't said that out loud to a lot of people. But yeah, I am pregnant. Officially 13 weeks and 4 days. 4 days? 3 days? 4 days, which is crazy. So obviously I wanted to make a video to go over it because I do want to provide a lot of resources in the months to come for a lot of other pregnant women, especially first-time moms out there. I actually am a certified pre- and postnatal coach. I have been for the past 4 years, and I've been working with plenty of prenatal and postpartum women over the past 5 or 6 years. So I feel very comfortable with the evidence out there, with the adjustments that are required during each trimester. But boy, is it different when it's you, right? You do start to tend to go down that rabbit hole a little bit more, be a little bit more conservative, get bombarded with so much information. It's extremely overwhelming. So I've had to scale things back quite a bit with my social media consumption because there is still just so much conflicting information out there. And I think the biggest thing for me that I have learned over the past 13 weeks here is that everyone is so different. That's why when it comes to safe exercises versus non-safe exercises, what you should do, what you should not do, it is so person to person dependent. So right off the get-go, I just want to preface this, especially with any future videos that I do when it comes to me documenting what exercises I'm doing, what adjustments I'm making, and we'll talk about all of that in the weeks to come here. And I'm going to summarize a few things before I let you guys go today, but just know that everyone is so different. So if you're seeing content online where individuals are like, you should never do this, well, it definitely depends on the individual, depends on you, depends on your body, and it depends on what you were doing prior to pregnancy. So those are all very important considerations. And that's where, of course, working with a qualified professional can be extremely beneficial to help just take that guesswork out of it. So you can have a conversation with them about what you were previously doing, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what adjustments need to be made. And you can do so with somebody who is objective and is going to give you their objective opinion, make sure they have that your best interests are in mind, and take that guesswork and overwhelm off of your shoulders. So, like I said, I'm really excited to start sharing more content like that in the weeks to come here. My entire YouTube channel is not going to be just about pregnancy. I know I have a lot of male followers here as well too. There's going to be a nice blend with everything that I've already been doing. If you do want more exclusive pregnancy content, I have made a separate Instagram page that I highly recommend you go give a follow. I'm really excited to post on there regularly. What the heck did I call it again? 1 second, it's not even live yet technically. So I will link it down below. It's called the Strong Mamas app. So having said that, I have created a subscription called the Strong Mamas app. It's basically your fitness companion if you are going through your own journey right now. So I'll link the details down below and you all can go check it out. And I will do a future video, maybe just kind of talking about it a little bit more, but that's not the point of today's video. I just want to talk about my experience so far, just announce it all to you and kind of answer some general questions that I know I'm going to get first and foremost, and then in the future, I'll do a more detailed Q&A. But I think the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about today, because now I'm officially in my second trimester here, was what changes did I make to the exercises that I was doing during my first trimester. So during the first few weeks, there was a lot of fatigue and a lot of hunger pains. Like if I didn't eat every 2 to 3 hours, like, oh man, I would be in an insane amount of pain. I really didn't deal with a lot of morning sickness. A few moments where I felt dizzy in the afternoon, nothing too crazy. I just made sure that I stayed nice and hydrated, moved slowly, didn't try to get off the couch too quickly. And I did find that it ended up going away within about an hour. No morning sickness, I didn't vomit or anything like that, which was kind of nice. It was actually a pretty decent first trimester in comparison to other stories that I have heard from other moms out there. So I'm very blessed that things seem to have gone pretty well. Didn't really experience too many food aversions or anything like that. I just craved variety. Like I got sick of my food very, very quickly, where I needed new food like instantly when it came to like dinners or lunches or anything like that. So I had a lot more variety than I'm used to. I'm actually a creature of habit. I like eating the same things every single day. So having to come up with new ideas of what to eat was exhausting for me. I really don't like having to make decisions of what to eat every single day. It's not my jam, but I definitely had to do that during my first trimester. So things looked okay on the nutrition side of things. When it came to training, I didn't make too many changes in the beginning. I did stick to the majority of what I was doing prior to that. So I do hybrid training between bodybuilding and calisthenics. So I was able to continue doing most of my calisthenics movements, and I really made sure that those were being prioritized. And the reason being, I know that they're going to be short-lived. Like by the end of my first trimester, when I started getting a bit of a belly, I took straight bar muscle ups completely out of the program, which was really sad. I was really disheartened by that. I was finally starting to get muscle ups consistently, but I think when I found out I was pregnant, I had a mental block where I just couldn't get muscle ups anymore. And the reason is because, of course, when you pull yourself up over the bar and you're pushing yourself up, like your stomach is just gliding on that bar. And there were a few moments where, depending on how I get up over the bar, I'm actually hitting my, top of my stomach here, more my rib cage, but pretty aggressively. So of course, that's not something you want to do if you can do muscle ups efficiently. I'm still in that learning phase where every single rep isn't nice and clean. So the risk of it was pretty high, where I decided like, hey, I can't do straight bar muscle ups anymore. It's time to say goodbye to those. So in replacement to that though, I introduced ring muscle ups, which is something I always wanted to try to start progressing towards once I kind of mastered the straight bar muscle ups. But of course, with ring muscle ups here, and I'll overlay some videos for you all here, with ring muscle ups, you don't have a bar in your way, right? So you don't have to worry about your stomach being in a vulnerable, dangerous position. That's been something that I have adapted, and it's been a nice change for me as well too. So I'm gonna continue to do ring muscle ups probably for the near future here, depending on how things feel as I get bigger and as my belly gets bigger. I have still been doing handstands, just being more conservative with them, especially when I'm doing freestand handstands where I'm not using a wall. I do suspect that once my balance is compromised due to my belly, I won't be doing freestanding handstands anymore. A lot of pregnant women continue to do them, but again, I'm still in that learning phase where I'm not 100% comfortable with handstands yet. So I think that once I find that my balance is off, once I get a bigger belly, I will be trying to use the wall a little bit more. So I plan to keep handstands in my routine for as long as possible. I will of course continue to listen to my body, paying attention to like pelvic floor heaviness, things like that. Those are the biggest things that you want to pay attention to, and there have been no issues with that whatsoever. I'm still doing pistol squats, and I know that those will be short-lived as well too, just because of the risk of balance. And then of course, with your leg up, right, your belly's going to get in the way of that. So those things are all things that I've been doing during the first trimester, little changes that I've made, like the straight bar muscle ups for ring muscle ups, and I'll continue to do them for as long as possible. Other than that, I've been making some changes to my core work. Reason being, I'm trying to prevent doming and coning. So what are some examples of what I was doing? Like L-sits caused a lot of pressure in my pelvic floor, so I'm not doing those anymore. Same thing with toe to bar leg raises. I'm not doing those anymore. So more so incorporating some other options like bear crawls, bird dogs, planks, things like that. And I'm still training core actually more than I probably was prior to pregnancy. And we'll get into that in a future video because I know that that is a very, very common myth that you shouldn't be training your core, which isn't true, but we will talk about that a little bit later. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that video. I've also reduced my intensity for certain bodyweight exercises like push-ups and pull-ups. So again, just trying to prevent any excessive pressure in my pelvic floor. So the weighted pull-ups and the weighted push-ups were causing some aggravation there. So that kind of sucks, but again, that's okay. I've just been adapting things, doing different variations of push-ups. Same with pull-ups. I seem to be okay with pull-ups right now. A lot of women do tend to have to give them up just because it can increase some pressure, and that may come in the future depending on how I feel. So I'll continue to monitor it. But as of right now, the changes that I've made seem to be going pretty well. And other than that, I've been keeping everything else the same. So now that the news is out, I will be sharing my workouts way more regularly, probably on my shorts here. And then make sure you follow the Strong Mamas app on Instagram, where I will be documenting things quite heavily, just pregnancy content on that page there. Other than that, I don't think there's much more for me to talk about today. We're very excited. It's something we were trying for, and it happened quicker than we expected, which is obviously very exciting. So we're very blessed that way, but things have been going well, and let's continue to hope that it is smooth sailing. So thank you all so much for listening to me rant today. And that's all I have to say to you all. Okay, thanks you guys. I'll see you again.